What the hell happened to my Harriet Tubman $20 bill in 2020? Let's pull it up. Harriet Tubman $20 bill. There will be no Harriet Tubman $20 bill in the near future. Man, ain't this about a... What's good with it, people? Welcome to the Joe Blacula Perspective Presents Behind the Curtain, where I will either be reviewing or revisiting movies and sharing my honest thoughts and opinions on them. And I am your host, the infamous Joe Blacula. Cue my drop.
Joe
Blacula.
Thank you kindly. Alright, so let's get into Harriet. Oh, that don't sound right. Harriet, starring Cynthia Erivo as the lead character of Harriet Tubman, and she was nominated for Outstanding Lead Actress in the 2020 Academy Awards. That's what's up. That was a good look. If you value that type of thing as far as Hollywood is concerned, hopefully it opens more doors up for this young sister. She kind of had this whole Erykah Badu vibe thing happening. And there are moments in this movie where I'm actually wondering if that was her singing. If that's her, she got a good voice too. And Harriet is directed by Kasi Lemmons. Whenever I hear the name Kasi Lemmons or I see her, the first thing I usually think about is School Days. She was one of the sisters that came down to talk to Spike Lee's character Half Pint when he was trying to find a date. And I just remembered her scene when she came down, when she came into the shot. It's like she comes into the frame. It's like her profile. All you see is her profile. And then she turns and the camera locks in on her face. That left an impression on me. I also remember her from Silence of the Lambs. I remember her with Jodie Foster's character because I remember thinking to myself like, man, right on, man. They done put this sister as a lead supporting role as well to help Clarice Starling's character find Buffalo Bill or whatever that dude's name was that they were chasing through the whole movie. I also remember her in Candyman. I'm a Chicagoan, and it was shot in Chicago. She played, what was Tony Todd kept saying? Helen. I remember she was Helen's homegirl. I was bugging when I saw the movie. They went to Cabrini Green in one of the scenes. Casey's character was scared to go into Cabrini Green, but Helen wasn't. I just remember I was like, man, they could have written her a little better than that. Out the gate, having her show that she's shook of our people, but of course the white lady ain't. I didn't like that. But once again, glad to see the sister was acting. Plus then she got killed too. She got slaughtered. I mean, Candyman was like, yeah, damn the fact you a sister, man. I'm ripping you from one end to the other. She directed the movie Eve's Bayou. I didn't see Eve's Bayou. I remember when that movie came out. I do know that Sam Jackson was in it. Was he Sam Jackson at the time or had he transitioned it to Samuel L. Jackson? I remember hearing about that movie. Storyline, yeah, I opted out on that one at the time. Ooh, I did see Talk to Me, starring Don Cheadle and my man Chiwetel, I can't pronounce his last name, and I don't want to be disrespectful, and Taraji P. Henson. That was an awesome story. Everything with that movie to me was awesome. Awesome script, loved all of just the whole look of it. It was about Petey Greene. If you haven't heard of Petey Greene before, Google him. His whole story as far as how he came up, how he succeeded, what he went through. I'm a fan of good stories. That was a good story. Casey directed the Netflix miniseries Self-Made about Madam C.J. Walker. That was another story that needed to be told. I'ma hold my... I remember even before the movie Harriet had been released that people was barking over the fact that the lead actress wasn't from America, that she wasn't American. I mean, I wish people would just get over themselves sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Now I can understand if her London accent would be slipping in and out of her character. Okay, then I could understand how people would be upset about that. But I didn't hear none of that. It didn't happen. You can't even tell that she's from London. I never heard not one trace of a London accent, and that's all I was concerned about. Please believe I was listening. And some folk might say, well, how come y'all ain't get Angela Bassett? Good call, but too old. Should have done that 30 years ago. What about Notori Norton? She look like she about the right age. Once again, good call. Probably wrapped up with power. You don't know what the logistics was with that. And if we honestly would have left it up to Hollywood, do you know who they actually had set and were actually talking about having play Harriet Tubman? Julia Roberts. Yeah, pretty girl Julia Roberts. I mean, yeah, pretty woman Julia Roberts. I mean, that would have just been offensive. That's like a really fam moment. Like, really fam? Y'all just gonna be completely disrespectful like that? Don't take my word for it. Google Julia Roberts, Harriet Tubman. Yeah, that's what they think about us. Sidebar. What I did find out was that in 2015, Viola Davis was set to star and produce a Harriet Tubman biopic, but it fell through. Now, I would have liked to have seen Viola play Harriet, but once again, too old. I mean, look, we have to face the facts, real talk, that the Hollywood pool is not deep for our actresses. Black actresses, black directors, black producers. So we should celebrate them when they winning at the least. Hell, Hollywood is hard on white women. So imagine how hard it is for the sisters. I'm just saying. All right, so let's unpack this plot. I've been preaching long enough. I mean, the plot of the movie really isn't that complicated, especially if you remember anything from Black History Month when you were back in grammar school. Harriet, whose actual name was Araminta Ross, they called her Minty. She was a slave. She escaped. She came back, got more slaves, took them to Pennsylvania for freedom. Like I said, this is what I pretty much grew up knowing already. What the movie did do was fill in blanks of information that I did not know. Like I said, her name was actually Araminta Harriet Ross. The information I found said that she actually got 70 slaves to freedom. I don't know if that seems kind of low to me or not. But 70 people, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of runs going back and forth. She led 150 soldiers in the Combahee River Raid, freeing over 750 slaves. Wow. And I learned the term Fugitive Slave Act. I don't remember learning that in grammar school. Now, mind you, once again, this is information that I could have found out on my own, but I didn't. A lot of us won't. And that's why a movie like this was important to have been made. Now, of course, it's still a movie. It's meant for entertainment, not necessarily edutainment. So, of course, the movie has its hero characters and its villain characters. And usually for me, in these movies dealing with some type of slave aspect, there's always some type of white savior figure that's kind of hanging around. And they always got them representing, the good white folk that was around during that time period. It just always seemed to me that they make it their business to insert that, all white folks wasn't bad during that time period. I get it, once again, controlling the narrative. Even now, our main concern is we can't be pissing white people off or offending them. But it's always these white savior characters here to take us to salvation or to assist our journey towards the path to salvation. But in this one, in the movie Harriet, not only that there really wasn't any white saviors, I mean, there were white people that did contribute to the Underground Railroad. That didn't make them saviors. Now, besides them cracker-ass crackers that were the slave owners, of course, they're the villains, but one of the key villains in the movie was actually black. The character's name was Bigger Long. Wow. Pause. And he was played by actor Omar J. Dorsey. And my man's played this role because I genuinely did not like this dude. I mean, I personally, after a while, didn't like him. I didn't even like his face. I didn't like his eyes. I didn't like his beard. I'm talking if the word sellout existed back then, then he most def was that. Sidebar. Now, one of my many useless intangibles is that I can see an actor and I can recall whatever movie that they were in that made an impact on me. And I clearly remember Omar in the movie Road Trip. Omar played this frat dude at this frat house. Actor Clark Peters from the HBO series The Wire. He plays Harriet's dad, Ben Ross. And actress Vanessa Bell Calloway plays Harriet's mom, Rit Ross. I gotta make sure I say that clear. Rit Ross. People will be like, Rick Ross? Did he say no? Rit Ross. With a T, R-I-T, Ross. Sidebar, on site, whenever I see Vanessa Bell Calloway, I don't care what role it is, I always re-envision her in the movie What's Love Got to Do With It? I always remember her scurrying across the floor trying to get away from Larry Fishburne, from Ike. Her acting in that movie was heavy, man. Actor Von Curtis Hall plays Reverend Green. Now, the way his character was introduced, I thought that he was gonna be this stepping, fetchit, cooning porch pastor. But as the movie went on, he was not that kind of pastor, and he was a serious plug for Harriet for a connect that he had in Pennsylvania. So my man actually wound up looking out. Another sidebar, Von Curtis Hall is a director himself, and he is the husband of the director of Harriet, Casey Lemons. Not to say that that had anything to do with him getting a role or not. I'm saying if your wife is the director of the movie, then man, could I get a bit part at least? Vondi was in the movie Sugar Hill. Played a real douchebag basketball player. I mean, he beat up Teresa Randall real bad in a scene. And I also remember thinking, man, Vondi can't be that tall. How did they come to the conclusion, let's cast him as a basketball player? He directed and was in the movie Gridlocked with Tim Roth and Tupac Shakur. That was a good movie too, and an awesome story. Janelle Monáe plays the character Marie Buchanan. I'm gonna call Janelle Monáe an entertainer. She has completely gone beyond the realm of just being a singer. And I love seeing her stretching out further into acting. There were some scenes with her growing as an actress. I was kind of like, ooh, that was, but even still, she played a good character and held her own for the whole movie. Plus, I like her face. It's something about Janelle Monáe's face. I can't describe it. She's like a living black porcelain doll. It's like her eyes, and I just find myself when I'm looking at her, I just be like, you know what I'm saying? And then a friend of mine put me up on the fact that she got good eyebrows. In a day and time where you got people filing their eyebrows down to nothing and then drawing them back on and whatnot, she got some nice, good, natural eyebrows. Love seeing natural. I noticed, well, of course, when you're dealing with a movie where the content is about runaway slaves and running and whatnot, there are a lot of running scenes, and I just remember feeling like watching them run, I'm like, man, please don't fall down. Please don't. Oh, come on, man. You know, black people, we don't fall down in movies. That's stuff that white women do when they running from a killer in a forest in horror movies. Man, black folk don't fall down. So when I would see like Harriet fall, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? We don't do that. We don't fall. But that was good for me because I'm having these moments like, woman, get up, man, get up. We got to move. We got to keep moving. So I was engaging. I was engaged in the movie. It was drawing emotion and reaction out of me. That's good. One of the other aspects of the storyline is that they dealt with the fact that Harriet Tubman would black out. She had some type of brain trauma. Found out that information was accurate. Man, look, in the day of information, ignorance is a choice. There's also a saying in the movie where they show her taking the iconic Harriet Tubman pic. I was sitting back thinking to myself like, man, they better at least have something showing in here where she's taking that picture. It ain't like it's that many of her to begin with, but that one pic that's been floating around forever, they at least had to pay respects to that. And I'm glad that the director, Casey Lemons, that she chose to represent that picture as well. That's an iconic picture, man. You couldn't like not have that in there. You know something else I was glad to see? I was glad to see all of the natural hair. Or at the least all of the natural wigs that were on showcase in this movie. I mean, I am lambasted on the daily with all of this weave, with all of these multicolored wigs, green and purple wigs. I mean, you got women out here looking like the Joker and whatnot. Folk out here scared, ashamed, whatever the hell, to have some type of grace, some type of natural kink that they had. And now, oh my God, I ain't even about to get started as far as these eyelashes are concerned. So it's like the weave or the wig on your head wasn't enough. Now you gotta put a weave and a wig on your face, on your eyes. What's next? I mean, these eyelashes. I mean, these women, these girls. I'm seeing 12, 13-year-old girls out here now looking like Mr. Snuffleupagus. And what was homegirl name from the Muppets? Janice. Looking like Janice from the Muppet Show. I mean, it's just bothersome to me. It's really bothersome. So it is refreshing to me for at least 2 hours to be able to see all natural hair or all natural wigs. It is just a damn shame that I have to go back to 1850 to see it. I digress. Now, what does a budget of 17 million earn 43 million with a $26 million profit? What does that mean? Well, in Hollywood, it means that we will be able to at least make one more movie and hopefully keep black directors in a position where we can keep telling our own stories. Once again, controlling the narrative. Okay, so here's Hollywood. The George Washington Carver movie, get it done. Frederick Douglass movie, get it done. Medgar Evers movie, whatever, get it done. Mantan Moreland biopic, get it done. Gary Coleman biopic, whatever, get it done. See, here's the thing about Hollywood. They could care less about the history of black people. Getting the information right, being accurate, whatever the hell. They have one bottom line, and that's making money. And I ain't mad at them about it. This is a capitalistic society, I get it. If telling black stories with black directors keeps bringing in a profit, then they'll keep allowing us the bread to finance. But let them stop making money and watch what happens. That well will dry up real quick, Jack. Spoiler alert. Well, this could be a spoiler alert or a fail to mention. Here's my question. I'm gonna propose a situation, all right? If your husband or if your wife was presumed to be dead, I'm talking dead. People saw you fall, jump, plunge to your death off a bridge, all right? Get washed away, nobody to be found, no traces of you, nothing. And you or your other moves on, gets remarried, then all of a sudden, one day, you at work at Walmart, all right? As the greeter at the damn door. You keeping up with me? And your other that you thought was dead comes walking in through the sliding doors talking about, baby, I'm back. Now you've moved on, all right? Remarried and got plugged with somebody else, probably miserable in a new situation, or even just mentally moved on. This person is supposed to be dead. You done collected the insurance money, you done paid some bills, bought a new peacoat. My question is this. Can your corpse of your significant other, your former significant other that's standing in front of you right now, do they honestly have the right to be bugging if you tell them at that moment that you've moved on? Do we really have to get into this now? In the middle of Walmart, standing here at the door? Does that person have the right to be upset with you? Give me an answer to that in the comment section. This had the nerve to happen in Harriet. I'm just saying, I don't understand that. I mean, full-blown crying too, just mad. Had nerve to go run off and falling on a tree, crying to the Lord Jesus and whatnot. In conclusion, I came into Harriet, I will say that I was not expecting much. Maybe because my brain had been like tainted already with all the complaining that I'd been hearing before the fact when the movie was first released in October of 2019. But I came away from it satisfied. I mean, I did have some moments with some of the script and some of the acting based on some of the script, because an actor really can only do what's like put in front of him or her. But it was a strong movie, and I'm glad it wasn't any of them scenes like, I've been suffering my whole life monologue moments. I'd have been too through if I'd have gotten any of those. Now, she did have this one moment when she said, my people are free, my people are free. That was kind of cornball to me, but that's me nitpicking, and I can acknowledge that. Like I said, I am very critical of our movies. I've heard it said before about other stories, well, this person tried it with this one, maybe somebody else will come along and improve on that model. Well, our movies, black movies, we ain't always afforded that pleasure to be able to do that. A lot of our stories are one and done, especially if they ain't made no bread at the box office. Now, a movie like Harriet, this ain't one of your Lord Bring Me a Man stage plays. This ain't no I Need Me a Man, Father God Bring Me a Man play at the Airy Crown Theater or something, starring David Peaston and Melba Moore and Tony Terry and Clifton Powell. This ain't one of these type of movies. And we cannot be gambling with our history. We can't play with our stories. My thing is either do our damnedest to try to get it as accurate or as close to perfect as possible, or stall it out till you can, or don't do it. Leave it to somebody else. You might have to back somebody else that might have it more together. It says that Harriet Tubman's last words were, I go to prepare a place for you. That is heavy. Those are some heavy last words, man. I mean, for me, let's say if I was to take it as a metaphor, to me, that's saying I have set the stage for you. I'm setting the stage. I'm building the arena for you. Now, what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna keep buck dancing, soft shoeing and whatnot? Or are you gonna get down like Denzel playing Othello? I don't mean that literally. I'm just saying that stage could be life. Not just a stage on a theater. That could be life. It's like, look, man, I'm doing this for you. I paved the way. I made the sacrifices. What are you gonna do with your life?
What do you wanna do with your life?
What type of impression are you gonna make? What type of mark are you gonna leave? I stand on that, man, unapologetically. Hell yeah. Man, contribute to something. But all in all, I have to thank my mother dear. I have to thank my mother dear for suggesting that I do a review on the movie Harriet. I love you much for that because I needed to see this. Black story, our history, black director, a sister with blonde locks, married to a black man. Come on now, just black. Right on, man. Ungawa. Love, hate, or debate. I didn't love it. I absolutely did not hate it. It's debatable. And I give Harriet a rating of 3 black fists out of 5. And truth be told, I have to be completely transparent. And it's absolutely not fair for me to do this. I have the movie Malcolm X. That movie for me is like the bar of standard as far as black biopics is concerned. Malcolm X and Ray. Malcolm X, of course, was directed by Spike Lee. Warner Brothers kept giving him a hard way to go through the entire shoot, stalling him out on bread and whatnot, but my man scraped and clawed and got it done. He made it happen. Excellent. Now, Ray was directed by Taylor Hackford, who is not black, but it's still an excellent movie. Once again, bottom line, I am a movie dude, but Ray is an excellent movie. Script, cast, sets, shots, lighting, wardrobe, hair, DP, director of photography, audio. So like I said, I am stern, very stern, and very solid with our movies, with our content. But I do recognize the struggle of getting them done because it ain't even an uphill climb. It's beyond an uphill climb. But man, Malcolm X came out in 1992 and ain't nothing looked that good that came from us since. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think. But I am celebrating the strides that we are making. Ooh, sidebar, shout out to Ava DuVernay. Now she is definitely knocking them out the park. Her whole look into filming is just dope. She gets it. She got it. And damn, that woman is fine, man. It's the shot when the brother that's playing Martin and he's on the pulpit. It's the shot, from what I can remember, where you can see the lectern or the pulpit and you see those pipes behind them from the organ. Just that shot, the way that DP set up that shot and the lighting. I'm just like, man, right on, Ava, right on. And then I saw some other show that she does. Most of the time, when you set up a camera, you like to give people what's called looking room. Like their head will be right here and you give them enough space to look as if somebody else could be right here. Ava sometimes, I saw this shot in a movie about the Central Park 5, but she will position the camera where there's no looking room. The looking room is way on this side and the actor's face is right against the end of the frame. And I'm looking and I'm like, wow, man, who does that, man? That is, she's breaking rules or creating new rules. And we have to do that. You have to take chances. We got to stop being so scared of everything. Let's put a bow on this one because it is a wrap. If this was your first time visiting, your attendance was much obliged and highly appreciated. My reviews will get better, and until I hit the bullseye, I'm gonna keep throwing these darts. Let me know what you thought about the movie Harriet. Let me know if I'm missing some black movies that were just as good, if not better, as Malcolm X. That was directed by a black director. So do your math before you come at me with receipts. Please like, share, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell. I need to reach 25,000 subscribers. And whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let a brother know, and I will holla black in a few ticks. In a minute, people.